Stakeholder engagement is a requirement under the IFC performance standard. I would call it IFC PS as we go on in this webinar. And also, I will call the organization or the investment company or the proponent, I will call all of them the client in line with IFC's terminologies, okay? So the stakeholders engagement is a key process or procedure that have to be put into consideration for every investment project. Every investment project in Africa, in Europe, in Asia, everywhere has to involve the stakeholder engagement procedure. Yeah. Okay. Stakeholder engagement is a key requirement, as I was saying, in the performance standard 1, being assessment and management of environmental and social risks and impacts. And it has to be incorporated in the environmental and social assessment and management system as well. So stakeholder engagement is the basis for building strong, constructive, and responsive relationships that are essential for the successful management of the project's environmental and social impact. Okay, so requirements regarding engagement of workers and related grievance redress procedures are found in Performance Standard 2 of the IFC Performance Standard. And let me mention also that the IFC Performance Standards on Environmental and Social Sustainability is the document that we're using for this webinar. So it will be a very good reference document for all of our webinar attendees to look into. Okay, so for this module, being module 8, we will take module 8 two times. So this is module 8A. We are going to take module 8B another time. So for this module 8A, we are taking a part of this overview, which is stakeholder analysis and engagement planning, disclosure and dissemination, disclosure and dissemination of information, consultation and participation, and all of this we are going to be looking at how to tackle them. So it's an ongoing process. Actually, stakeholder engagement is an ongoing process that may involve, in varying degrees, the elements including all of this that I have listed. So the nature, frequency, and level of effort of stakeholder engagement may vary considerably and will be commensurate with the project risks and adverse impacts and the project phases of development, actually. So the stakeholders analysis and planning is what I have here. Interested stakeholders identification during a project, before commencement of project and all that. So clients have to identify the range of stakeholders that may be interested in their actions, that may be interested in the projects, and consider how external communications might facilitate a dialogue with all stakeholders. Okay, so where project involves specifically identified elements, aspects, or facilities that are likely to generate adverse impacts to affected communities, the client has to identify the affected communities and have to meet the relevant requirements according to down procedures by the IFC and even local laws. You know, for instance, in Nigeria, local laws in Nigeria have to also be taken into consideration. So the client has to develop and implement a stakeholder engagement plan, like I have on my bullet 2. Have to have an SEP that is scaled to the project risks and impact, and develop stage and be tailored to the characteristic of an interest of affected communities. Where applicable, the SEP will include differentiated measures, you know, to allow the effective participation of those identified as vulnerable people. Very important, vulnerable, or let's say a disadvantaged group of persons. So when the stakeholder engagement process depends substantially on community representatives, the client has to make every reasonable effort to verify that such persons do in fact represent the views of affected communities, and that they can be relied upon to faithfully communicate the results of consultations to their constituents. Okay, so in case where the exact location of the project is not known, it is reasonably expected to have significant impact on local communities. So the client will prepare a stakeholder engagement framework. Since you cannot have an SEP, you will have a SEF, that is a stakeholder engagement framework, as part of his management program, outlining general principles and strategies to identify affected communities and other relevant stakeholders. So it has to plan for engagement process compatible with the performance standards and that can be implemented once the physical location of the project is known. So I would stop here and take us through the next module 8B. I hope that you subscribe to our channel so that you constantly have updates about our activities and how we go. Thank you very much. Send me email if you can. I'll be very glad to have your emails to share your project information with me. Sorry, it's not that clear here, but my email is comfort@richflood.com and my name is Comfort Asokoro Gaji. Thank you and enjoy your project implementation.